आप इन्फेंट्री, कॉम्बैट आर्म्स, सर्विसेज, एवरीथिंग यू कैन ज्वाइन. नाउ दिस इज वन आर्म जिसमें अभी काफी एक्सपेंशन हो रहा है. Role of artillery is to provide supporting artillery fire to the armored corps and the infantry. The Gallantry Award winners comprise, they hail from the infantry regiments. तो इसलिए आपको ये नॉलेज होना बहुत जरूरी है. Let us look at what are the options available with you. So let us now look at which are the different arms and services in the Indian Army. Why it is important to know the arms and services? इंटरव्यू में जैसे हम आपको पूछते हैं कि आप क्या ज्वाइन करना चाहते हो. Unfortunately, majority of the candidates lack this information. They have just applied for the service, and particularly I'm talking about the graduate entries. They fill up all the forms possible जिसके लिए भी आप eligible हो, चाहे वो आर्मी हो, नेवी हो, एयरफोर्स हो, कोस्ट गार्ड हो, CAPF हो, CGL, etc., etc. Now with this, what happens is that you tend to lose focus on your service that you want to join. So आपके SSB आर्मी के लिए भी है, नेवी के लिए भी है, कोस्ट गार्ड के लिए भी है, और आप जा रहे हो एक्चुअली में आर्मी के लिए. आप शायद जाना चाहते थे एयरफोर्स के लिए, तो आपका इंटरेस्ट शायद इतना नहीं होता है. बट द फैक्ट इज कि यू आर अपियरिंग बिफोर एन आर्मी selection board, so you must have your choices, or at least the knowledge about the different arms and services depending on your qualification. Suppose आप एक technical graduate हो, so आपके लिए क्या क्या options available हैं. So this knowledge you must have, right? So you can join as a technical graduate, you can join all the technical arms, you can join any arms. In fact, आप infantry, combat arms, services, everything you can join except of course the medical. तो इसलिए आपको ये knowledge होना बहुत जरूरी है. Let us look at what are the options available with you. So Indian Army जो है वो it is categorized into 3 types of arms. One is the combat arms, then you have the combat support arms and the services. Before we move further, a quick look at my background. I'm Group Captain Rajesh Pandey, founder, director of Train for SSB, graduated from the National Defense Academy. I have over 31 years of service in the Air Force. I've been a former SSR with 4,000 selection interviews, been a former head training division at DIPR, privileged to train a large number of senior officers in all the 3 services, Army, Navy, Air Force, as well as Coast Guard as interviewing officers. I have also been an interview consultant with the LWS SSB. Coming to the combat arms, आपने infantry सुना होगा, infantry, artillery, armored, etc. Combat arms में basically 3 arms शामिल किए गए. That is infantry, armored corps, and the mechanized infantry. So what are these combat arms? ये arms वो हैं जहाँ पे आप enemy के साथ engage करते हो in face to face with the enemy, directly in actual combat. These are infantry, which is the branch of an army that fights on foot. They say that आप जितने भी bombardment कर लो, आप ब्रह्मोस फेंक दो, ब्रह्मोस से अटैक कर लो, आप किसी भी मिसाइल से हमला करो, एयरक्राफ्ट से हमला करो, लेकिन ultimately if you have to win the battle, you have to put that flag. So they say the victory is still measured on foot. So that is what the infantry does. Right? So infantry is the branch that fights on foot. Then you have the armored corps, which comprises of tanks. And these are the vehicles designed for frontline combat, which combines operational mobility and tactical offensive and defensive capabilities. Armored corps also includes cavalry regiment, जो आपने देखा होगा राजपथ में, घोड़ों पे सवार होके राष्ट्रपति के सामने जो आते हैं, प्लस हॉर्स पोलो वगैरह खेलते हैं, etc. And you have heard recently, we have been testing a new tank, Zorawar, which is a light tank, which is undergoing field trials at the moment. Then you have the mechanized infantry. Now, mechanized infantry की जरूरत इसलिए पड़ी क्योंकि infantry normally पैदल चलती है और उसकी speed of advancing forward was restricted. So ये देखते हुए कि अगर आपको वाकई में बहुत तेज आगे जाना है, then you need speed. So उसको देखते हुए number of infantry regiments have been converted into mechanized infantry. So इसमें you are an infantry regiment equipped with armored personal carriers or APCs इनको बोलते हैं, for transporting troops and infantry fighting vehicles or IFVs, right? So इसमें से हम कुछ देश में भी अभी बनाना शुरू कर रहे हैं. Infantry, there are, you have heard of special forces, you have heard of Gorkha regiment, you have heard of Kumaon, Bihar, Mahar regiment. So let's see what are the different regiments. Infantry regiments, like I said, victory is still measured on foot, and that is why it is considered as the foremost arm of the Indian Army. Maximum number of the army chiefs, maximum number of the gallantry award winners comprise, they hail from the infantry regiments. You have these regiments, Assam, Bihar, Brigade of the Guards, Dogra Regiment, Garhwal Rifles, etc., right? And you have also the Ladakh and Sikkim Scouts. These are also part of the infantry regiments. Then we come to the combat support arms. Now, combat support arms are the Regiment of Artillery, Corps of Engineers, Army Aviation Corps, Army Air Defense, and the Corps of Signals. What do they do? Now they provide support to the combat arms, right? So अगर इन्फेंट्री को आगे मूव करना है तो you need to suppress the enemy. Enemy को भी आपको थोड़ा सा शांत करना पड़ेगा. तो इसलिए एक कवर फायर देने के लिए आपको आर्टिलरी की जरूरत होती है. So role of artillery is to provide supporting artillery fire to the armored corps and the infantry. And it comprises long range weapons which cause heavy damage to the enemies. Army Aviation Corps, it provides tactical air transport, reconnaissance, medical evacuation to the army, and it provides rapid mobility to the troops in the field. Attack helicopters have also been inducted in the Army Aviation Corps to increase its capabilities. Now, this is one arm जिसमें अभी काफी expansion हो रहा है. Right? So those who are wanting to join the aviation and fly helicopters, they can look for this. Initially, the vacancies used to be very less. Now the vacancies are increasing to a quite significant number. And ये आगे भी grow करने वाला है. Combat support arms, like I said, continuing with that, you have the Corps of Engineers. This corps, it helps the fighting arms by constructing आपके roads होते हैं, bridge हैं, railway line, mine clearance, और ऑब्स्टिकल्स को लगाने के लिए भी, राइट, माइन बिछाने के लिए, माइन लगाने के लिए भी. सो इट हेल्प्स प्रोग्रेस द मोबिलिटी एंड ऑल्सो डिनाई दिस थिंग टू द एनिमी by laying mine demolition obstacle construction. Now, specifically for those people who have a technical background, I would suggest that they know a little more about these technical arms. Like I have these podcasts with senior military veterans. So life as an officer in the Corps of Engineers, you have this podcast link भी यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. You can go and see this कि आप Corps of Engineers में कैसी life होती है, किस किस तरह की training होती है, क्या opportunities होते हैं. तो particularly for those who are technical graduates or who are going for the technical entry scheme of the Indian Army. Likewise, you have the Corps of Signals. Now, Corps of Signal handles its military communications and provides physical dispatch of messages and takes care of the information technology and cyber security. So particularly जो candidates IT में दिलचस्पी रखते हैं, IT graduates हैं, उनके लिए this is, I would say, the best arm that you can get into. राइट. सो आप कम्युनिकेशन फील्ड से हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से हैं, या फिर आप आईटी से हैं, गेटिंग इनटू कोर ऑफ सिग्नल्स विल प्रोवाइड यू अ लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर ग्रोथ. देन वी कम टू द आर्मी एयर डिफेंस. नाउ सबसे ज्यादा अगर चर्चा में कुछ रहा है आर्म, दे हैव बीन द फाइटर्स during the Operation Sindoor, and the next or equally important was the air defense. Now, air defense, as far the army is concerned, you have a separate army air defense regiment and or rather the corps. So it provides support against enemy air attack. So air defense का मतलब ये है कि आपको aerial जो threat है उसको counter करना है. We have developed a layered air defense system. राइट. आपने आकाश तीर का नाम सुना है, आपने S-400 का नाम सुना है, आपने आकाश मिसाइल का नाम सुना है, MR सैम का नाम सुना है, L-70 जो बहुत एक लीगेसी गन्स, बहुत पुरानी गन्स थी, उनको भी हमने यूज किया है. सो राइट फ्रॉम द लॉन्ग रेंज to the medium range to a very short range, up to, let us say, 1 to 1.5 kilometers AD guns that we have, as well as the shoulder fired missiles like Igla. So Akash Tir, जो कि इन सबको इंटीग्रेट करता है. दैट सिस्टम was very much in action and very successfully so during the Operation Sindoor. Then the third category is the services. Those troops that provide the logistic support to the arms are called services. Now, इसमें कौन-कौन सी चीजें arms हैं differently? These are the Army Education Corps, which provides education training to the troops, Army Medical Corps, Army Ordnance Corps. Now, they are responsible, Ordnance is responsible for procurement, storage, and supply of vehicles, equipment, clothing, and weapon system. Practically, you can say every item that is required to fight except rations and fuel. Now, Army Service Corps is responsible for procurement, storage, distribution of rations, supplies, fuels, and oil, lubricants, etc., to the army. Then the third technical arm, which is the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers, is again though a technical arm, but it is considered as a service. EME is responsible for recovery, repairing, maintaining all electrical, electronic, mechanical, medical, and optical equipment and weapons which are in service with the Indian Army. Practically everything which is in the Indian Army is repaired and serviced by the EME. And like I said earlier, I've also interviewed one Major Ishwaran from the Corps of EME, and the link is given here. That will give you a clarity कि Corps of EME में क्या क्या होता है. So this is for those who are technically inclined. Continuing with the services, we have the Corps of Military Police, right? उनका काम होता है to assist the army formations in maintaining high standards of discipline of its troops, prevent breaches of various rules and regulation, etc. Then you have the intelligence corps. As the name suggests, they work to gather intelligence for the Indian Army. The JAG branch, आपने सुना होगा, those who are legally qualified, they are eligible for this. Judge Advocate General Branch, it looks into the legal matters related to the Indian Army. Next comes your Army Dental Corps, which provides dental care to all personnel, and Remount and Veterinary Corps. Right, this is for procurement, breeding, and training of army dogs, horses, mules. Also, the prevention and treatment of infectious diseases is their responsibility. Then we also have various other services like the Pioneer Corps, Defense Security Corps, and the Military Nursing Service. Gone through this, I would like you to mention in the comment box कि आप कौन सी चॉइस पसंद करेंगे, राइट? कौन सा आर्म आप ज्वाइन करना पसंद करेंगे. एंड सी, जब हम अपनी प्रेफरेंस जाहिर करते हैं तो उसमें एटलीस्ट हमें मालूम होना चाहिए कि इसमें होता क्या है. So, if you are inclined towards some of these, then, you can go and find a little more about this. There's enough material available on the social media, on the websites of the Indian Army, जिससे आप ये सब जान सकते हो. And that is certainly going to help you in making up your mind. And also it gives an feeling to the interviewing officer that जब आपको इतना सब कुछ मालूम है तो आप में कुछ मोटिवेशन है सर्विस ज्वाइन करने का. Right? So to that extent, it is also important. So if you like this, I would suggest, or request you कि आप इसे like करें, share करें, subscribe करें channel को, and also put in your comments. The next we're going to talk about in the next video, I'll be talking about the different branches of the Indian Air Force. You have the flying branch, the ground duties branches, in which you have the technical branches and the non-technical branches. And thereafter, we'll follow with the Indian Navy, which are the different branches. So with this, I'm sure you have been able to get an idea कि different arms and services इंडियन आर्मी की क्या क्या है. आपको इसमें से क्या पसंद है, आपकी क्वालिफिकेशन, आपके जो इंटरेस्ट हैं, उसके मुताबिक आपको क्या चीज सूट करेगी, राइट? सो वंस यू हैव दिस नॉलेज एंड यू कैन स्पीक विद दैट मच ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस. जब आपको इंटरव्यू के लास्ट में नॉर्मली पूछा जाता है कि ओके व्हाट इज योर चॉइस ऑफ सर्विस, राइट? आप बोलते हो मेरे को एयरफोर्स या आर्मी ज्वाइन करना है. ओके, आर्मी ज्वाइन करना है. सो व्हाट इज इट दैट यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन? सो इफ यू हैव दिस नॉलेज, इट हेल्प्स यू, देन यू विल बी दैट मच मोर कॉन्फिडेंट. So I'm sure, this is going to help you. With this, wish you all the best. Jai Hind.